Hey everyone, I am so excited because I get the privilege to interview Miss Arielle Chanelle and hear all about her newest project and her newest album entitled The Call. She is a Boston native, and so Miss Arielle, just tell us about what it is behind the inspiration behind your project and a little bit more about what it's about.
My project, The Call, is actually the second part of a series. The first project that I put out was called The Awakening, and it was um, the beginning of my musical journey, but also the beginning of me walking in what God had called me to. And so with The Call, it's more of an in-depth look at who I am, who God has called me to, what my purpose is here. And it's really, the title is based on 1 Samuel chapter 3 verse 10, where God had called to Samuel when he was young, and finally he was like, speak, Lord, your servant heareth. And that's when God gave him a revelation of what was to come that really changed the trajectory of Israel and the way they were going, and also leading up to the things that would come with King David. So that whole dynamic, it kind of is like a parallel of it with my own life. And, when I accept God's call, what it is that he's able to speak to me and pour into me. So that's this project.
Wow, I love that you incorporate and you found the inspiration behind what you do from God's word.
Oh,
That it was it's living, breathing, and being inspired to form this album that you have, and now you feel like you're accepting your call
yes.
and moving forward. And I can assume and imagine it's gonna inspire other people to accept their calls when they listen to it. So tell me a little bit about the music that's on the album.
Oh, yes. So this album, it starts out with one of my favorite hymns, It Is Well, and more of a, traditional flow, but then it kind of flips up. And really, because this project, I wanted people to feel more of, my heart, what goes on in my head, like get to know me. Despite the first project was kind of like my just really introduction, so it was a lot of covers, but all of the songs on this project are written by me, and so original lyrics, so you really get to feel who I am and get to know me. So that's what I like about this project.
So this is just you in the flesh,
Yes.
really. Just you out there putting your heart on the line and really being obedient and allowing God to use you to share your story with millions of viewers and listeners out there. And that's incredible. So tell me,
Yes.
let's back up a little bit.
Oh,
tell
yes,
me,
no problem.
tell me about, I mean, where did this all start? How did you know that this was your call?
It started, I guess I would say, when I was little. I was always into singing, always into music, but I never took it serious because I thought that that wasn't for me. It wasn't what God was calling me to. I went away to school, and when I left, decided I was gonna just get a regular job, have a regular family or whatever, just, really small dreams for myself. And God had to say, like, hey, when are you going to realize that I want so much more for you because I love you? Like, my love for you is so great that your small thinking of yourself is not going to cut it. I have so much more. And that's when I left from where I was in school and came back to Boston. And God literally just started unraveling more and more about who I was. And music was really like the foundation, like grounding behind all of it. So that's really how that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said a lot. You said, I mean, the part that really sticks out is that, the Lord said, I have bigger plans for you and I love you and I want to show you who you are and unravel that foundation so that you can be able to pour out to the people that you're meant to touch.
Yes.
That's incredible. And I know that can even feel a little scary.
Oh, yes.
To really accept the call and
Yes.
accept that and walk in obedience. How was that feeling for you, and even recording every song and writing every lyric?
It took a while. This project has music on it that I started working on like a few years before actually getting in the studio. Like, that's how long it took for this project to come about, even the first project. Because at first, even hearing, it's one thing when it's like, all right, this is what God said, but sometimes it takes a while to accept it. And that was me. Like, it took me a minute. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, people be like, oh my goodness, the things that I'm like, yeah, nope, not at all. So once I actually was like, all right, Lord, whatever you say, like, I'll do it. I'll do it because I want to please you and I love you as well. And then songs just kind of started coming. I would be at work and sometimes I'll be sitting there like putting away files at my job and be like, oh yeah. And then like lyrics will just pop up. So it was definitely a process and it did take a while before I was like, all right, this is it.
Wow. So that's, first of all, just the illustration of your story of, battling that fear of, okay, Lord, I'm fighting this and I don't know about this. I'm not sure if this is what you've really called me to do. And the minute that you surrendered and said, Christ, have your way, songs just started downloading into your spirit to the point where you were at work and you were writing down and thinking about lyrics. And I think that that's often a point in which we get in our walk where we get to that point where, are we going to surrender it? Are we going to surrender it all, or are we going to fight? And it sounds like this album of yours, this new project, is literally the depiction of a surrendered life to Christ.
Yes.
And I just can only imagine how incredible it's going to blow. It's going to blow up, and it's really, hearing the message behind the album, I think is the life-changing part. And I think a lot of people are going to be really touched by your transparency in your walk with Christ through this.
Thank you. That's my prayer. It's definitely my prayer because I want people to understand that it's not just me. I'm not anything special in God's eyes. He loves all of us, and he has a call and a plan for each and every person and a purpose for each and every person. And so that's the message that I want to get out to people. Especially being a Boston native, there's Berkeley, there's, the New England Conservatory, all of these different schools that are around that, it's like, oh, why not them, Lord? And it's like, because this is who I've created you to be. So letting people know, God has a plan for you and he has created you for something. And if you just tap in and listen to him, he'll let you know.
Well, amen. Amen. Well, I am so excited that you were able to be here and share your story. Please feel free to follow Miss Arielle Chanelle on social media. We will have those links up so you can definitely follow along. And stay tuned. You do not want to miss it because now you get a chance to actually listen to her recording live. So thanks for joining. And stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in. And if you are excited about what you heard today and you want to follow more of my journey, you could find me on all social media platforms at Arielle Chanelle and also on my website at ariellechanelle.com.